The following is a presentation of RJL 518 Sports Network. Hello, everybody. This is Robert from RJL 518, welcoming you here to Dodger Stadium. This is Payoff Pitch 1985. Today's date, April 16, 1985. It is the Houston Astros taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers here at Dodger Stadium. The Astros come into this game 6-1. The Dodgers are 3-4. And this should be an exciting matchup between two teams that are figured to be definitely in the hunt of the playoff race. The Dodgers are graded an A. The Astros are graded a B. But the Astros are off to a great start. As Steeler fan, and Philip Reynolds joins us here at this game. Philip Reynolds says there's something wrong here. My Reds aren't playing. No, your Reds are not on today. But they will be actually scheduled to play in a few days. So be on the lookout for that there, Phil. I'm getting an early start. There's something I want to do here a little later, so I want to get this game out of the way. And I don't want to cheat my fans of a good game of baseball. The Astros originally won this game 7-3. As you can take a look at the chat, you'll see Houston was 7-12 and 7 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors. The Dodgers were 3 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. So that is the original score of the game. It's the actual score. But now we'll see what Payoff Pitch has to say about it. Dodger Stadium, definitely a pitcher's park. 1-26 lefty. 1-38 righty for wheelhouse, so that's a combo of 2-64. So in 1985, Dodger Stadium was definitely a pitcher's park, and so far after playing only a few games here in 1985, I can already tell the difference between this season and 1994. So I got to make sure I read the cards correctly, and I actually misread a card yesterday, Mookie Wilson, for the Mets. I actually awarded him a home run by accident. I should not have, but it's already in the books. Mets still would have won the game anyway, but that doesn't matter. I got to be sure I really read these cards correctly. I don't want to take any hits away or give any hits to somebody that doesn't deserve it. After all, we're trying to do a regular season here and get to the playoffs, and of course, using quick results and everything, we want to get it right. Let's get to go. It's got a good game here. Scheduled pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers will be Tom Brennan. He was 1-3 with a 7.39 ERA, so he was not one of the Dodgers' better pitchers. So I kind of like the Astros in this game. Should be fun. Top of the first inning, let's get underway. Leading off for the Astros, shortstop Dickie Son. I'm pretty sure a Steeler fan will recognize a few names from this Astros group from 1985. I'm pretty sure he will. And I'm a Steeler fan. If you want to tell me about any of these players that come across the screen, you let me know. Brennan's pitch. And that is a tough 64, and it's a fly ball to right field. Coming under it will be Mike Marshall. And he puts it away for out number 1. Next up for the Astros is right fielder Kevin Bass. I'm pretty sure that will bring up a few names for a few nostalgia for Steeler fan right there, Kevin Bass. He batted .241, 6 homers against rights. Bass pitch, tough, 0-6, swing and a miss, struck him out. And Bass will go down on strikes. That is the second out. And now we will see third baseman Denny Walling. That brings back a few memories for me as well, even as a Mets fan. They all suck. It comes to mind. Philip Reynolds, come on now. Steeler fan is an Astros fan. Come on. 2 outs. Brennan will pitch. And tough, 20. And that's a single for Denny Walling. It's a base hit. Fights off a good, tough pitch, and Walling will go to first. He will hold at first base, a 3C steal rating, 5 on the dice, nothing happening. And here is the left fielder, Jose Cruz. 2-out single by Walling. Cruz will bat. Brennan with the pitch. In play, 55. That's a single for Cruz. Base hit. Denny Walling, a run rating of 8, will automatically make it to third. And the Astros are in business. Runners at the corners with 2 out. The batter now is center fielder Jerry Mumphrey. Mumphrey batted .293 with 8 homers against rights. Walling on at third, Cruz on at first. The pitch to Mumphrey. Tough 44, popped up in the infield. And calling for that is going to be the first baseman, Sid Breen. And he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. No runs for the Astros on a couple of hits. As Mumphrey pops out, Tom Brennan gets out of a tough inning. And we will now go to the bottom of the first. Starting pitcher for the Houston Astros in this game will be Bob Knepper. Bob Knepper, 15-13, 3.55 ERA in 85. He has a little extra help at the percentage roll, so Bob Knepper, he had 131 strikeouts that year. He is a lefty. Leading off for the Dodgers here on the bottom of the first will be shortstop Mariano Duncan. Oh, boy, these names all bring back some nostalgia for me from the 80s. Bob Knepper with the pitch. Ballpark 05. That's a wheelhouse from Duncan at Dodger Stadium. A wheelhouse 59 against the lefty. That's going to be a single for Duncan. Base hit. He will go to first. Leadoff single for Duncan against the lefty with that wheelhouse check. I'll try to bring the cards here so you can actually see them a little better. I wish I had a better place to put those cards so you can see them. Runner on base. Leadoff runner here is the shortstop, Bill Russell. Duncan, a 5+ steal rating, and there's a 5 on the dice. He might look at a steal. Let's see. His steal rate, it's a B, and Mark Bailey is the catcher in this game today. His arm is a 3, so a B3, what would that be? That would be a B3 would be a very good attempt for Duncan to score. Let's see if he gets the jump. I'm going to try to see if we can get him to steal. So the steal attempt will be on. Let me check the optional get a jump chart. Let's see what we're going to do. Duncan's steal rating is a 5. Knepper's hold rating is a 6. A 0 to 52. A 0 to 52. Duncan steals. It's a 5. There he goes. A very good chance. Throw down to second. He is safe. Close play, but he is safe with a stolen base. Duncan did have 38 stolen bases, and he will steal that one. So now a runner in scoring position for the Dodgers. Mr. Moley, 55, says hello here at Dodger Stadium. Duncan steals second base. He will be there. Now Bill Russell will bat. Russell batted .318 with no homers against lefties in 85. In play, 10. And that is going to be a single for Bill Russell. That's a base hit. That is a grounder up the middle to center field. Mariano Duncan, runner on second, advances 1 base. His run rating is an 8. That's a 7, and he has a choice on this run, so he's going to round third. They're going to send him home. His run rating is an 8. It's hit the center field. Mumphrey's arm is a 7. So very simple. 7 or lower, he's safe. 8, it's a play at the plate. 9, he's out. It's a 9. Mariano Duncan thrown out at the plate. 1 out. Jerry Mumphrey throws out Duncan at the plate. What a throw by Mumphrey. Gets him out. And Russell holds it first with the single. As Philip Reynolds says, boo. Ray Price now joins me here at Dodger Stadium. Thank you for joining me, guys, for a good game here. Early season contest between the Astros and the Dodgers. Russell still at first base. Next batter for the Dodgers will be the left fielder, Mike Marshall. Marshall batted .287, 8 homers against lefts. 1 out. Russell with a 3A steal rating will not go. Knepper with the pitch. Ballpark 72, that's going to be in play for Marshall. In play 61, ground ball, that is a grounder to third base. Marshall's double play rating is a 6. Knepper's a 7. That's a 5. That's going to be 2. Third base to second base to first base. Double play. Inning over. No runs for the Dodgers. They got 2 hits and a stolen base. No score at the end of 1. As some big-time defense comes up for the Astros. We now go to the top of the second, and I thank you very much there, Philip Reynolds. Leading off for the Astros, first baseman Harry Spillman. Didn't have many plays for Houston, but he did have a few at-bats. He got the start here. Only batted 127 with a homer against Rice. Remember, these are the as-played lineups for that game, for these games. As Steeler fan, knows a lot about the Astros. Here's the pitch from Brennan. Tough, 35, and line drive hit right to second base, 1 out. That is a line out. Next up for the Astros will be the catcher, Mark Bailey. He was the catcher for this game. Batted .250 with 6 homers against Rice in 85. Brennan, tough, 32, swing and a miss, struck him out. And that is strikeout number 2 for Brennan. Next batter, second baseman Bill Doran. Now there's an Astros star right there. Bill Doran was with Houston. Bill Doran was for many years. Bears Den 007 joins me here at Dodger Stadium. I'm sure a Steeler fan can tell a lot of stories about Bill Doran, a very fine hitter. He batted .280 with 9 homers against Rice in 85. He was a very good, I always felt Bill Doran was an underrated hitter. This guy was a good player. 2 outs. Brennan will pitch. Tough, 93, ground ball to short. And that'll get picked up by Dave Anderson. Throws to first, side retired. A 1-2-3 inning for the Astros. Nothing across. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. As Mr. Moley says, Pop is his favorite game with inside pitch, a close second, and deep drive. And I agree with you completely on everything you just said there. I like POP and inside pitch evenly. Bottom of the second, coming on to pitch will be Knepper. And leading off for the Dodgers is this guy. Who here remembers Pedro Guerrero? Guerrero batted .304 with 9 homers against lefties. Pedro Guerrero, this guy was an absolute beast. This guy was ripped. I remember seeing Guerrero many times as watching the Dodgers and, of course, play my Mets and all that. This guy could kill baseballs. One of the real sluggers of the 80s, Pedro Guerrero. This guy ate baseballs for breakfast. Who here remembers Pedro Guerrero? Here's the pitch from Knepper. Patient 46. That's a walk. Guerrero will trot down to first. First walk given up by Knepper. He averaged 2 walks per 9. Another player I know very well here, center fielder Candy Maldonado. He bats .232 with 5 homers against lefts. Ray Price says he took his little girl to St. Louis and saw Guerrero play. My girl called him Mr. Gorilla. And you know what, Ray? She wasn't wrong. I seen that man in person in a game between my Mets and the Dodgers, and I'll tell you, that man was ripped. I'm surprised the uniform even fit him. Guerrero on at first, Maldonado at the bat. Knepper's pitch. That is a tough 30 and swing, and that's a cold strike 3 on Maldonado. 1 out. First strikeout for Knepper. He averages 4.9 strikeouts per 9 innings. That will bring up the first baseman, Sid Bream. Bream would be with a lot of players, a lot of teams in his career. Sid Bream was only 24 years old at the time, but he got the call here for the Dodgers in this game. As you see, not many at-bats, but he got the call. Remember, these are all as-played lineups. And I usually will let these guys bat at least 2 or 3 times before I replace them in position players. Knepper with the pitch. Tough. 0-6. And that is a strikeout. Knepper gets Bream out on a strikeout. 2 down. And now here is the catcher, Steve Yeager. He was 36 years old with the Dodgers here in 85. He batted .202 with no homers against lefts. Look at Bream's home run ratings on Wheelhouse. Yes, he will definitely get it if he gets a Wheelhouse. But he doesn't get it. He doesn't get much at play. He doesn't have many at bats, so you won't see much of him as we move through the season. Probably 2 outs. Guerrero still on at first. Knepper's pitch, tough. 45, and that's a line drive hit right to second base, and that's snared by Doran, and that's the final out. Nothing for the Dodgers except a walk. And 2 innings in the books, and we have no score. Astros pitcher Bob Knepper will come up to bat to start the top of the third. He actually batted .141 in 85. Brennan will pitch to his opposite number. And we have a ballpark 34 that's in play on Knepper. And in play 89, ground ball to short. Up with it easily is going to be Dickie Thon. He will throw to first and get Knepper out easily. 1 down. Not Thon, I'm sorry. That is Anderson. Because Dickie Thon is up to bat. My bad. Top of the third, 1 out. Brennan will now pitch to Thon. Thon flew out his last time up. No Wheelhouse on Brennan's card is handy. That is true. That is true. He only appeared in 12 games. Remember, Brennan is only with the Dodgers till May 27th. We may see him later. He only started 4 games. This is one of them that he did. Thon, a pitch to Thon. Patient, 13, and that's going to be a walk. Thon trots down to first on a base on balls. And here is Kevin Bass. 4C steal rating for Thon. 8 on the dice, nothing going on. Brennan will pitch. Tough, 28. And that is going to tough 28. And that's a pop out. That is a pop out to second. And coming under it is going to be Duncan. He makes the catch, out number 2. Dickie Thon holds at first base. And now a chance for Denny Walling. Thon at first, Walling the batter. 2 outs here, top of the third. Tough, 57. Ground ball to third. Coming up with it is Guerrero. And he is going to, who's got the lower steal rating? He's going to throw to second to get Thon, and that will retire the side. Another 1-2-3 inning, not a 1-2-3 inning, but a good inning by Tom Brennan, and he keeps this game scoreless. Remember, the original score of this game was the Astros winning it 7-3. We go to the bottom of the third. Leading off for the Dodgers will be their shortstop, Dave Anderson. Batted .194 against lefties, 2 homers. Knepper, ballpark 33. That's going to be Dave Anderson's wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 83 is a ground out to short. Up with it easily is Thon. He will throw to first and get out number 1. The batter will be Tom Brennan, the pitcher. He doesn't have his own hitting card, but he uses hitting card number 9. So Brennan will use that card. Knepper in play, 08. And Brennan's going to get a single. That's going to be a base hit for the pitcher. Fans here at Dodger Stadium like it when the pitcher gets a hit. Brennan will go to first. He will hold there. And the top of the order now for the Dodgers in Mariano Duncan. Duncan got on base with a single, and he stole a base. Knepper will pitch to Duncan. Brennan on at first. Patient, 73. Ground ball to second base. Duncan's double play rating is a 7. Knepper's is a 7. That's an 8. They're only going to, that's the 8 is above both 7s. The throw's going to go to first, and the pitcher will make it to second. Actually, I'm sorry. The pitcher is out at second, and Duncan's safe at first. My bad. 2 outs. I'm not reading it right. That's supposed to be that's a fielder's choice. The pitcher has got a 6 on the die, and that 8 beats it. Fielder's choice. And now Duncan on first, and the batter is Bill Russell. And Duncan this time will not have a steal opportunity with 2 outs. You miss pitchers batting this season. The game loses strategy with the universe. When I think of Dodger hitters, I think of Gibson. Yep, Kirk Gibson. Tribe fan now joins me here at Dodger Stadium in 85. Yeah, but the thing about Mr. Moley, as I said about DHs, I hate the designated hitter rule. I completely hate it. I despise it. The pitcher needs to grab a stick and get to the plate. Problem. Pitchers right now are making $400 million to pitch, not hit. To have Jacob deGrom go down, twist his tear out his ACL on a routine grounder to short, defeats the purpose. So, yes, there should be a DH rule in both leagues now, even though I can't stand it. Duncan on at first, Russell at the plate. Knepper will pitch. And it's a patient 56. And base hit Bill Russell. That's going to be a single. Duncan with a run rating of 8 will make third easily. Russell holds at first. Russell gets his second hit of the night. And now a chance for Mike Marshall with 2 outs. They go talk to Bob Knepper a little bit on the mound. And now they will go ahead and get back to the plate. Runners at first and third. Marshall, the batter. He grounded out into a double play his last time up. 2 outs. Pitch to Knepper. And tough. 72, and that actually becomes an 82, and that's a fly ball center field. Coming under it will be Mumphrey. Makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs for the Dodgers. They got a couple of hits, but we are still scoreless at the end of 3. Top of the 4th coming up. Timeout on the field while I check a rule for a moment. It's tough on this car. So Brennan will take over here, top of the 4th inning. We got no score. Here's Jose Cruz. Cruz got a single his last time up. 85, the Cubs were in first place in June. Then Rick Sutcliffe got injured, running to first base on a hit, starting the downward spiral for the 85 Cubs. Yes, that's correct, Bears Den. Brennan's pitch. Tough 89, and ground ball to second base. Duncan will take care of it. He'll throw to first for out number 1. Next up for the Astros is Jerry Mumphrey. Mumphrey popped out his last time up. Duncan should be wearing red. Brennan in play, 28. Single for Jerry Mumphrey. He hits that one to right field. Mumphrey will hold it first. Base hit for Mumphrey. No steal chance on the board, and Harry Spillman will take a chance with one out. Brennan will pitch. And in play, 85, and that's a ground ball to second base. Spillman's run double play rating is a 7. Brennan's is a 5. That's a 7. They're only going to get Mumphrey. Mumphrey's thrown out at second base. Spillman will get to first. There are 2 outs on the fielder's choice. And now a chance for Mark Bailey. No steal attempt for Spillman. The other 4 starters eventually got injured in that season. Such fun stories for a time. Yep, didn't real much about baseball time in the 80s, which is my favorite decade of baseball overall. Not just because of the Mets of the 80s, but it was a great decade. It really was. Great baseball teams all the way around. Brennan will pitch. Tough. 41, and that is going to be a base hit by Mark Bailey. That is a single. Spillman's run rating is a 5. I have to draw. Grounder up the middle to center field. Runner on first advances 1 base. Spillman will hold at second. Bailey gets a nice base hit. Runner in scoring position for Bill Doran, and 2 outs. As Philip Reynolds says, single scores a run. No, not possible. Maybe not. Run rating of 5. The run rating has to be a 6 or higher in order with 2 outs in order to automatically score. So that's why I had to draw a card for Harry Spillman, because his run rating is a 5. Runners at first and second. Brennan will pitch to Doran. Doran is 0 for 1. Pitch. Patient, 12, and that's going to be a walk. Brennan will walk Doran. And the bases are juiced. Bases are loaded. How does 72 equal 82? If you'll see Bob Knepper, he has a strikeout percent. He has a roll percentage here of plus 10. So anytime a tough on the pitcher is rolled, you add 10 to that roll on Bob Knepper. It's Joe Bryant's way of getting a few more outs possible to normalize the 85 season. Not every season has that. 85 does. Remember, every baseball season is different, as I'm really finding out what a difference this 85 season is compared from 94. Bases are loaded, but it's going to be up to Bob Knepper of the Astros to try to get a run in. And since we're only in the 4th inning, I'm not going to pinch hit for him. So Knepper will bat. Bases juiced. Brennan will pitch to Knepper. In play, 39. And that's a line drive hit right to second base, but Duncan's going to make the play. Side retire. Nothing for the Astros on a couple of hits. We are still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Timeout. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Do any pitchers have the tough out category on the 85 card set? Haven't seen any yet, but I think there are a few. But I've not seen any yet. But right now, Bob Knepper has the roll plus 10. And the batter is Pedro Guerrero for the Dodgers, who leads off the bottom of the 4th. That only works on toughs. And Joe Bryan made some extra new rules for the 86 season for some in-play results and some patient results. So, only a few pitchers, though. I don't mind if he changes the rules a few bit. If he has to make a few extra rules so that season comes out as accurate as possible or plays as accurate as possible, I have no problem with it. It's his game. I just play it. Knepper will pitch to Guerrero. Tough, 77, and that is going to be a fly ball center field. Coming under it is Mumphrey, and that's 1 out. As I say, 77 because you add 10 to the rule on a tough. 1 man out. Here is Candy Maldonado. Knepper, 8. Patient, 20. That's going to be a walk. Maldonado trots over to first base. 1 out walk from Maldonado. And here is Bream. As he was mentioning, Sid Bream has that big wheelhouse. But remember, he had 1 home run, but only 18 at-bats against lefties and 35 against rights. He was with the team from April 9th to July 6th. Then he got traded, I believe. Maldonado is on first base. That is his 7. There is no steal attempt or sacrifice, as Bream doesn't have the sacrifice rating in that order. Bill Doran, another red. Knepper will pitch. Let's see what we get. Defense, 24. It's our first defense check. Error check to second base. The ball is hit to Doran. His error rating is a 3. 1 to 55. That's a 24. Bill Doran is going to make an error. Error on Doran. And that is going to be a one base error. So runners at first and second and 1 out. An E4 on Bill Doran. Ouch. And we mark an error for the Astros. Now, can the Dodgers take advantage of an extra out? Here is Steve Yeager with 1 out. A 3 on the steal set. Nothing going on. Bob Knepper looks at gives Doran a glaring look. And Doran, of course, is about 27 years old at this time. Knepper will have to pitch to Yeager with runners at first and second. Pitch on the way. Tough. 19 becomes a tough 29. And that is going to be a cold strike 3 on Yeager. 2 outs. Gets the strikeout call. The umpire rings him up. 2 down. And now it'll be up to Dave Anderson of the Dodgers. Yes, if you roll a 95 on a tough, you cannot go any higher. It doesn't go to 05. So no, you only go as high, okay, as you can on the top. So if that was a tough 91, it stays a 91. And remember also there are rolls plus 10, and on some of his seasons he has rolls plus 20 to try to lower the amount of hits a bit. 2 outs. Now Dave Anderson will get a chance to go up against Knepper. Bottom of the 4th. Astros and Dodgers scoreless in a tough game. Knepper pitches to Anderson. Ballpark, 89. That's an in-play. In-play, 40. Ground ball to first base. Up with it is Spillman. He will take it himself, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits. There was an error. At the end of 4, we are still scoreless here at Dodger Stadium. Got a pitcher's duel going on between these two. Are you sure Doran didn't tank that play on purpose? As Tim Pepper joins us at the ballpark. Top of the 5th inning, Brennan will pitch to Dickie Thon. He will lead off for Houston. Top of the order. Brennan's with the pitch. In play, 40. And pop out up in the infield. That's a pop out to third. Guerrero will call for it. And he'll make the play, out number 1. And here is Kevin Bass. Bass is 0 for 2. My modifications suck, but I'm here. Donald Cummings now joins us here at Dodger Stadium. 1 out. Brennan. Defense, 73. That should be all right. Error check to second base. The ball is at the Duncan. His error rating is a 2. A 1 to 62, that's a 73. Duncan's got it. Throws to first. Out number 2. Here's Denny Walling with 2 outs. Brennan pitching very well. Much better than he did in the actual game. Brennan. Patient, 99, fly ball right field. Calling for it is Marshall. He'll make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Brennan. As so far, neither one of these pitchers are giving an inch. We are halfway through the game. No score. As I flip the fact deck. For those of you wondering what the next game will be, and I can tell you we'll be going back to Royal Stadium for a big game between the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. That will be April 18. So Boston and Kansas City is the next scheduled game here on Payoff Pitch Baseball. The Red Sox and the Royals, a matchup of 2 B grades that are right now off to some iffy starts in the American League. Bottom of the 5th, and leading off for the Dodgers is the pitcher, Tom Brennan. His fatigue inning is 6. They're going to let him bat. It's only a second time at bat. He's pitching very well. Knepper's pitch, patient, 87, ground out to short. Easily picked up by Thon. He'll throw to first for out number 1. Here's Mariano Duncan. Duncan 1 for 2. Knepper with the pitch. Defense, 56. That could be interesting. That's a range check to third base. The ball is hit to Walling. His range is a C. A 1 to 38. That's a 56. Walling makes a great play. Gets up. Throws to first. Out number 2. Nice play by Denny Walling. On a ground out to third. And now Bill Russell. Russell 2 for 2. He's got 2 singles. Knepper in play, 09. And that's going to be a single for Bill Russell. That's his 3rd hit of the game. Russell gets to first. Russell 3 for 3. The batter now will be Mike Marshall. Russell a 3A on steal. Nothing happening there. So Knepper will pitch. Still 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. No score here between the Astros and the Dodgers. Here's the pitch from Knepper. Tough. 58 becomes a 68. Tough 68. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And coming under it will be Kevin Bass. And he makes the catch, and the inning is over. And the thing about it, how important is this role? Very simple. A regular tough 58 against the lefty, that's a single. Actually, that's a strikeout. That's a strikeout. That could have been a single if possible, but the add to 10 makes it a 68. So that's where that role comes in. It can take strikeouts away, but that's all right. So no runs, and there was a hit for the Dodgers, but at the end of 5, we still have no score. Who's going to break through? Who's going to be the first to break through this stone wall right now as we go to the top of the 6th? Who leads off? That would be Jose Cruz for the Astros. Cruz is 1 for 2. Brennan, patient 35. That's a double for a Jose Cruz. He smacks one into center field, and he will get to second base. A leadoff double for the Astros. That's Cruz's second hit of the game. And the Astros are in business. The batter is Jerry Mumphrey. Mumphrey 1 for 2. Cruz will not steal third. Brennan looking in. Cruz at second base. The pitch from Mumphrey. Pitch to Mumphrey. In play, 34. And that's going to be a base hit for Jerry Mumphrey. It's a single. It's a ball blooped into right field. Cruz running around third. They're going to send him home. He will score. And the Astros are first on the board. Single by Jerry Mumphrey, RBI. And the Astros finally take a 1-0 lead. Stadium groans. Still a runner on first base with nobody out. Harry Spillman will come up for Houston, as I'm pretty sure that Steeler fan will say that base hit was worth a pint of dome foam, even though we're at Dodger Stadium. Mumphrey on it first. Brennan will pitch. Tough 30. No wild pitch, and that's going to be a pop out to third. Coming under it will be Guerrero. Calls for it. Out number 1. 30, always got to check the wild pitch rating, see nothing went wrong. Here is Mark Bailey. Bailey 1 for 2. Brennan, tough, 73. And ground ball to second base. Bailey's double play rating is a 9. Brennan is a 5. That's a 3. They're going to get it. Second base to shortstop. Back to first for 2. Double play. 4-6-3 twin killing. The Astros, though, do get 1 run on 2 hits. They lead 1-0 going to the bottom of the 6th. In an exciting game here at Dodger Stadium. Knepper will pitch. Bottom of the 6th, the batter is Pedro Guerrero. Guerrero is 0 for 1. Guerrero, a beast. If you deal a wheelhouse to Guerrero, you might as well kiss that ball goodbye. Unless, of course, you're Dave Parker from last night, who got absolutely no breaks from the dice. Knepper, in play, 47. And what we got here? Pop out to first base. And Spillman will make that catch. Out number 1. Next up, Candy Maldonado. Knepper. Tough. 13. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 2 down. He strikes out Maldonado. 2 outs. And now Sid Bream. Pitch from Knepper. Tough. 23. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Bream goes down on strikes. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Knepper. Still 1-0 Stros at the end of 6. In a good close pitcher's duel between 2 pitchers that I didn't think would have a pitcher's duel. Top of the 7th coming up. And Bill Doran leads off for Houston. He is 0 for 1. Steeler fan, 1933, you still with me? Let me know if you're still with me there, Steeler fan. Brennan will pitch to Doran. Patient, 0-2. That's going to be a walk. Doran will trot down to first. Second time he's been walked. The batter is Bob Knepper. Now, I don't know. I guess Steeler fans not with me right now, so I'll ask. Bob Knepper is a pitcher, of course, with an 8 on the dice. There's no sacrifice or steal, so in this case, I'd have to hit with him. But Bob Knepper's already its fatigue rating. Question, I'll let you guys decide. Do I pinch hit for Knepper, or do I keep him in there, even though he's pitching a gem? I would ask Steeler fan this question because he's the Astros fan here I have, but I'm not getting an answer. So can someone make a choice for me? Do we pinch it for Knepper, or do I let him bat? No bunt, because the bunt doesn't come up in this case. The bunt does not show. 2 to 6 and 10 sacrifice, that's an 8. So I can't bunt with him using auto sacrifice. So do I pinch it? Mr. Moley says let him bat. I will do so. Doran on it first. The pitch to Knepper. Tough. 63. That's a strikeout. 1 down. Strikeout for Knepper, but he'll stay in the game at least. And now here is Dickie Thon with 1 out. And now a steal attempt for Doran is up there if he wants to try to do it. Let's see here. Doran is a C, and Yeager is a 1. What's the chances of getting a steal there? Let's have a look. That would be a poor chance. Nope. Doran will stay where he's at. No steal. I'll let Dickie Thon. Although, hit and run. No. I'm not going to do a hit and run. Not going to do a hit and run. Dickie Thon has a 1 to 46 strikeouts. No. And Brennan's got a lot of toughs. 1 out. Normal pitch. Ballpark 80. That's going to be in play. In play 88. Ground ball to short. That ball is hit. The ball is hit to Anderson. Thon's double play rating is a 5. That's a 5. That's a 6. Not a double play. Bill Doran's run rating beats that. In my opinion, Doran's going to be safe at second. And Thon is out at first. I might start doing that now instead of just 11 or 12 in automatic fielder's choice. If the runner's rating on first base is higher than the dice roll, he beats it. But he's got to beat both of them, and he does. So Doran moves to second base, but there is 2 outs. I'm going to try that out and see if that works. Not enough runner advancement, second base. You got a lot of that in inside pitch. Not enough here in payoff pitch, I think. Here's Kevin Bass with a runner on second base. I know I'm changing a rule. We're just going to see if it works for a little bit. You can always go back to the normal rule. Tom Brennan will pitch to Bass. Tough. 45. What we got here? Popped up behind the plate. The catcher, Steve Yeager, is going to make the catch. And the inning is over. Nothing for the Astros. They do get a walk. It's a 1-0 lead as we are at the 7th inning stretch. So go ahead and sing your Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take Me Out to the Crowd. I'll be right back. 7th inning stretch and 10-minute ticker coming up. Ten-minute ticker coming up. We'll clear the board. And let's see how it goes. Today's date is April 16, 1985. And I might not be using these sheets anymore. It takes a long time to actually make these. I have to do these by hand. So I might just be going back to showing the quick results chart, putting my pen on what dice has to be rolled, and then just calling a winner and using my other schedule. So I might just have to do back because it takes a while to make these. It really does. 04-16-85. Let's start with Baltimore at Cleveland. And that is a win for the Orioles. They win that game 9-8. Milwaukee takes on Detroit. That's an 11. The Tigers will win that game 6-2. I know the scoring was a little bit off. That's my fault. I didn't do that one that well. Boston will take on Kansas City. I put the team in the score box. Boston at Kansas City. That's an 11. That is a win for the Red Sox. They win that game 3-0. They beat the Royals. Chicago White Sox at New York Yankees. That's a 7. That's a win for the Yankees. They've been the White Sox 4-2. Yankees get a win. Seattle at Oakland. That's a win for the Athletics. They win that game 3-0. Texas at Toronto. The Blue Jays will take that game. They win the game 6-2. Cincinnati taking on Atlanta. That's going to be a win for the Reds. They win that game 9-7. They beat the Braves. Philadelphia at Chicago Cubs. That's a 6. The Phillies will beat the Cubs there 7-0. We skip our game. New York Mets at Pittsburgh. My Mets. And they will get the win over the Pirates, as they should. And that's going to be a 8-5 win for the Mets. They will beat the Pirates. San Francisco at San Diego. And that's a win for the Padres. They beat the Giants 8-6. We now move on to April 17, since we do not play that day. Baltimore at Cleveland. That's an 8. That's a win for the Indians. The Indians will beat Baltimore in that game 9-0. Cleveland actually getting off to even though the Indians are an F grade, they're actually off to a pretty decent start. Milwaukee at Detroit. That's a 5. The Brewers will beat the Tigers in this game 4-3. Boston at Kansas City. We'll have that game tomorrow. That's a 10. And that's going to be a win for the Royals, 5-2. California at Minnesota. That's a 4. That's a win for the Angels. They win that game 7-3. Seattle at Oakland. 6. Win for the Mariners. 7-2 win for the Mariners over the Athletics. Texas at Toronto. That's a win for the Rangers. They come away with a 9-6 victory over the Blue Jays. Cincinnati at Atlanta. That's a 7. That's a win for the Reds. They win that game 4-2. Philadelphia at Chicago Cubs. That is a 7, and that's a win for the Cubbies. They win that game 8-1. Houston at Los Angeles. We will play that. We will not play that. I will not roll that game until this game is finished. New York Mets at Pittsburgh. And that is a 12. That's a win for the Pirates. They win that game 7-5. Finally, Montreal at St. Louis. That is a 4. The Expos beat the Cardinals 9-1. And there is your 10-minute ticker for April 16 and 17. If your team did well, congratulations. If not, there's always 2 days from now. We got a good game cooking here. Bottom of the 7th inning. And the Astros and Dodgers, the Astros lead 1-0 here at Dodger Stadium. We'll now get back to our game. And leading off for the Dodgers is going to be Steve Yeager. A good pitcher's duel between these two, which I really didn't expect with Tom Brennan. He's pitching beautifully. Knepper's pitch. Patient, 0-9. That's going to be a base on balls. It's a walk. Barely walked him. Against the lefty, that is a walk. Yeager will trot down to first. Next batter for the Dodgers will be Dave Anderson. No steal on the dice or sacrifice. Anderson will bat. Knepper. And that is an in-play 51. And that's a fly ball to right field. And Bass will get to that one. That's the first out. Tom Brennan due to hit. He is going to be taken out. The Dodgers will go to a pinch hitter. So now let's see who they bring up against Knepper. And coming on to pinch hit against Knepper will be Steve Sachs. Sachs bats .215 against lefties. He has the most at bats on the bench. And I will use that. So here's Steve Sachs, 25 years old. He was really the main second baseman for the Dodgers. He was just not starting today. Another underrated baseball player from the 80s, Steve Sachs. This guy was good. Yeager on it first. Knepper will pitch to Sachs with 1 out. Knepper's pitch. Tough. 90. And what we got here, we have a ground ball to short. Sachs' double play rating is an 8. Knepper's is 7. That is a 10. The throw is Steve Yeager's run rating is a 4. The throw goes to second. They'll get Yeager. Sachs is going to be safe at first. They do not get the double play. That is a fielder's choice. It'll be up to Mariano Duncan with 2 outs. Sachs will not run. Knepper will pitch. Tough. 24. And swing and a miss. Struck him out. Duncan goes down. Inning over. Nothing for the nothing for the Dodgers. No runs, a walk. But that is all. 7 in the books. And the Astros are leading 1-0. Denny Walling leads off for the Astros. We'll have a new pitcher from the Dodgers. And they are going to bring in... They're going to bring in lefty Carlos Diaz. He will pitch. Dodgers have a very good bullpen. The Dodgers are graded an A. The Astros are a B. Dodgers have a very good bullpen. It's strong. Carlos Diaz, 6-3 with a 2.61 ERA. He has that strikeout rating. Top of the 8th for the Astros, leading 1-0 in a close matchup here at Dodger Stadium. Diaz will pitch. Tough. 91. And 91. Ground ball to second base. Up with it is Duncan. He throws to first. Out number 1. Next up is Jose Cruz. Diaz. Tough. 29. And swing and a miss. Struck him out. Cruz is out of there. Cruz goes down on strikes. And now Jerry Mumphrey. Mumphrey is 2 for 3 tonight. Diaz with the pitch. Wheelhouse 19. That's going to be a base hit for Mumphrey. Carlos Diaz throws that right over the plate, but Mumphrey can only chop it into the outfield. And that's actually into right field. Mumphrey will hold it first. He gets a single. Mumphrey has no home runs against left-handed pitching. But that is Mumphrey's third hit of the game. The batter coming up will be Harry Spillman. And against lefties, he will bat. Diaz will pitch. Tough, 48. And that is going to be a ground ball to third base. Coming up with it is Guerrero. And he will throw to first and get Spillman out. And the inning is over. A run for the Astros, but that's all they get. Still 1-0 Houston, and one heck of a pitcher's duel between these guys. Bob Knepper still is not over his fatigue inning yet. He hasn't allowed any runs, so he remains strong. It will be Bill Russell leading off for LA in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bill Russell, however, has been a hitting machine tonight. He's 3 for 3. Knepper, tough 25. And what we got here? Tough 25. That's a pop out to second base. Doran makes the catch in the infield, out number 1. Russell goes down, and here is Mike Marshall. Tough, 36, and that's a swing and a miss. Struck him out. 2 down. It would have been a strikeout anyway, even without the extra strikeout percentage roll. 2 outs, and now a chance for Pedro Guerrero. Guerrero 0 for 2, but he has hitting power. Pitch from Knepper. Tough, 28. And that is going to be a base hit for Pedro Guerrero. Now, you see, this is where this hurts him. It's a plus 10. That normally would be a tough 18. That would be a strikeout. But adding 10 makes it a tough 28. That's a single for Guerrero instead. That's a base hit. That's not a tough out, so it wouldn't be an out. You just add 10 to it. Guerrero gets his first hit of the game. The batter now will be Candy Maldonado with Guerrero on at first. That's where that roll can hurt him. Fans here at Dodger Stadium want to see a play here. But so far, Bob Knepper has been excellent. Pitch to Maldonado. Tough, 70. And that's a ground ball to second base. Coming up with it will be Doran. He will throw to first, and the side is retired. No runs for the Dodgers. They do get a hit, and it's still 1-0 Astros in a heck of a pitcher's duel. Top of the 9th. Carlos Diaz. Carlos Diaz, he will come out. He's pitched 2 innings, I believe. I didn't mark that down. I should have. He pitched what, 7 and 8? So yeah. So Carlos Diaz comes out. He will be done as the pitcher. Mark Bailey leads off for the Astros. We'll see a new pitcher for the Dodgers. Not a safe situation, but they're going to bring in Rick Honeycutt. He started games, but he also relieved, so that means I can use him as a relief pitcher. Rick Honeycutt will pitch against Mark Bailey. Honeycutt, 8-12, 3.42 ERA. He had a save in 1985. Top of the 9th, he'll pitch to Bailey. Pitch from Honeycutt. That's an in-play 53, and that's a ground ball right back to Honeycutt. He's got it. Throws to first, out number 1. One out. And now Bill Doran. Honeycutt's pitch. Patient, 36. That's a walk. Doran trots down to first. Bob Knepper due to come up to pitch, but he's going to be done for the game as they're going to bring in the closer. But we will see a pinch hitter for the Astros. And against the lefty, let's see who they want to bring in. And it is the 9th inning, so we usually bring in the best stat available. And it is going to be Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds will bat against Rick Honeycutt. Ninth inning or so, I'll always bring in the best stat. Any other innings, I'll usually bring in the most at bats. So Craig Reynolds will go up against Honeycutt. Runner on first here, top of the 9th. A big inning. Chance for the Astros to try to get a run. Honeycutt. That is a tough 16, and he gets him swinging. Struck him out. 2 outs. Down goes Reynolds. And now Dickie Thon with 2 outs now. Honeycutt will pitch to Thon. Tough 61. Fly ball right field. Marshall will get to that one. And he puts it away, side retired. The Astros get a walk, but that's it. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Astros leading 1-0. Sid Bream leads off for the Dodgers. The Astros will bring in the closer for that year. Because I'll see who it was. Or at least at that time who the closer was, I should say. And that will be Dave Smith. Here's Dave Smith, 30 years old in 85. 9-5 with a 2.27 ERA. He had 27 saves for Houston. It'll be up to Dave Smith to try to close this game out against the Dodgers. Bottom of the 9th. Sid Bream leads off, and we'll see a pinch hitter for Bream, I believe. And yes, I will. Bream will come out. He's first base, so let's see what we're going to bring in here. Coming on to pinch hit and take over first base will be Greg Brock. Brock, usually the Dodgers starter. He's on the bench for this game, but he will bat. Greg Brock bats 274 against rights, and he will take over at first. In case this game goes any further. And for those of you who watched my inside pitch game earlier between the Orioles and the Brewers, we'll see what happens because that game was nuts. For those of you who didn't check that game out, my inside pitch game from my 1977 one and gone tournament between the Brewers and the Orioles, please check it out. Keith White joins me here now at Dodger Stadium for the bottom of the 9th. Dave Smith will pitch to Brock. In play, 65. Ground ball to short. Coming up with it is Thon. Throws to first. Out number 1. Here is Steve Yeager. Yeager will bat. At least I think he will. Let me see. Let me check the bench. Do I have another catcher? Yes, I do. We will see a pinch hitter for Yeager. He will come out. Taking his spot will be Mike Scioscia, the main catcher for the Dodgers in this game. Scioscia will now take over at catcher just in case it goes any further. So here's Mike Scioscia. Bats 307 against rights. A lot of Dodger bench players started this game. Kind of interesting, but that's okay. It does happen. That's okay, Keith. Glad you joined us. You always check out the replay. Got a good pitcher's duel here. Dave Smith trying to close it for the Astros. Scioscia at the plate. 1 out. Tough. 31. And what we got here? Popped up in the infield. Shallow second base. And that's going to be Bill Doran putting it away. 2 outs. The last chance for the Dodgers will be Dave Anderson. What a good pitchers duel between the Astros and the Dodgers. Yes, the Dodgers were good that year. Yes, they were. They're graded an A. They are graded an A. They were very good that year. Yes, they were. Dave Smith against Anderson, but so were the Astros. They weren't bad either. Smith trying to get the save. Dave Anderson trying to keep the inning alive. Well, I see it. Let me see if I bring anybody on the bench. What is it? Anderson is a shortstop. Nobody else, so Anderson has to bat. Dave Anderson will try to keep the game alive against Smith. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. Will we see some 9th inning magic? Patient 56. Double for Dave Anderson. He keeps the inning alive. It's a double to center field. He gets one off of Smith. And the game is still alive. Anderson on its second, tying run aboard. Honeycutt, the next batter. They'll bring in a pinch hitter against Smith. It's going to have to be Al Oliver. Is it Al Oliver? No, it's going to be Kenny. It's going to be Kenny Landreau. Ken Landreau will pinch hit against Dave Smith. Mr. Moley says walk-off single incoming. Well, remember, it's got to be more than that. They're down by a run. So the tying run is at second. Ken Landreau coming on to pinch hit for the pitcher. 2 outs. Smith trying to get out of this inning and try to close the game. Dodger Stadium jumping up and down. Here's the pitch from Smith. Tough. 82. And ground ball to second base. Coming up with it is Doran. He's got it. Pumps once. Throws to first. That's your game. No runs and a hit. As the Houston Astros shut out the Los Angeles Dodgers 1-0 on some awesome pitching by Bob Knepper and Dave Smith. As Steeler fan, I'm sure we'll say Astros win, and they do. And now we'll check out the 10-minute ticker score for tomorrow. So Houston beats the Dodgers 1-0 here. Now we check this game out. Houston at Los Angeles. Do the Astros win another one? That is a 7. The answer is no. The Dodgers will win tomorrow's game 6-4. And that will do it for our full 10-minute ticker. Tomorrow we've got the Boston Red Sox versus the Kansas City Royals. Great American League action for that game. That should be fun, and I'll give you the starting pitcher for that game tomorrow is Oil Can Boyd versus Bud Black. Oh boy. Oil Can Boyd versus Bud Black for tomorrow for the Red Sox and the Royals. That should be a blast. So join me for that game for tomorrow. Anyway, Mr. Moley, 55. Yes, this is a whole season. It's a whole season, but I play every other day. So pretty much a full month of a regular season action will take 2 weeks. But then when we get to September, I'll do it every day for playoff positioning. Probably midway through September. It moves a lot faster, and the quick results charts take care of the rest. Tim Pepper, Mr. Moley 55, Keith White, Philip Reynolds, Donald Cummings, Tribe Fan 879, Steeler Fan 1933. Thank you all for joining me tonight here at Dodger Stadium. It was a pleasure to have you here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have Inside Pitch. It will be the California Angels taking on the Philadelphia Phillies, 1977 one and gone. Guys, you don't want to miss that matchup. It's Frank Tanana versus Steve Carlton. And that's going to be a heck of a pitcher's game, I think. Tanana versus Carlton in that game. And tomorrow, Boyd versus Black, as the Royals will host the Red Sox tomorrow night on 85 Pinside Pitch. Thank you all for joining me. Have yourself a wonderful night. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, healthy, smart, and strong. We'll see you tomorrow.